What's up, guys? You are just in time for week 3 waiver wire video. Let's jump right into it. At the quarterback position, you really have a couple of quarterbacks that got slightly injured. You really want to monitor, not so much to pick someone up, but again, if you have these players, you might have to make a couple of pivots. Josh Allen, Anthony Richardson, they all three got a little dinged up in this week's matchups. They should be good for next week, but again, just something to monitor if you have these guys on your roster. You might want to think about pivoting to a better matchup just in case. At the running back position, everyone's going to say Samaje Perine is the main guy to pick up, and I do think he's going to be an important piece of the offense, but I would be careful with how much you want to spend. As far as fab dollars, you might throw 5, maybe 10% at him because you still have Carson Seal on the roster, who is going to get the majority of the running back touches. Samaje Perine is going to get a few running back touches, but he's going to be on it for the most part on passing downs. Carson Steele is going to get the valuable touches like goal line work. But they're also bringing in Kareem Hunt for an interview, so we're going to see how that goes. It's going to be a running back by committee for the most part. You're not going to have one standout player, so again, be careful with your fab dollars. Cam Akers is also a name that should be mentioned. He's probably not on most radars because people don't think of him being the backup for Joe Mixon in Houston, but he is. When Joe Mixon went down, Cam Akers was the backup, and he really only got swapped out for Dare Umgalawale, and he didn't come out the game until he fumbled. Joe Mixon should be back next week, but Cam Akers is a name to watch because this is a high-powered offense, and you want to start a running back in a high-powered offense. If Joe Mixon goes down, Cam Akers is the guy you want. If he's not already rostered, which he should be, but just take a little peek just in case. Bucky Irvin should not be on the waiver wire. Rachaad White pulled his groin and went out for the rest of the ball game. Again, he should be back next week, but things like this can linger. He could strain it further in practice and be out for multiple weeks. So just something you want to keep an eye out. Make sure you put a waiver bid in for Bucky Irvin. None of these players, again, I'm going to dump all my 5 onto. If you have the #1 waiver priority, I really wouldn't waste it on any of these backs. But again, you definitely want to keep an eye out and get these guys on your roster. At the wide receiver position, a surprise injury that we just found out about is Deebo Samuel. He's going to be out a couple weeks with a calf strain, so that obviously is a bump up to George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, but those guys are not available. So you make sure you want to pick up Juwan Jennings. We've seen him flourish when he gets an uptick in production in this offense, so he's going to be the next guy up. Make sure you pick up Juwan Jennings. Also, when we talk about receivers, we talked about these guys last week for the Rams, like Tyler Johnson and Demarcus Robinson. Not only is Puka Nacua hurt and out for a couple weeks on the IR, so is Cooper Kupp. He's probably going on IR at the time of this recording, but he's going to miss multiple weeks at the very least. Again, Demarcus Robinson, Tyler Johnson, Jordan Whittington, who's probably not on most rosters, Tutu Atwell. You're going to want to pick up these guys. Matthew Stafford has to throw it to somebody. And for very deep leagues, Khalif Raymond, if he's on the waiver wire, should be on the radar. At least add him to your watch list so you can get him on your team just in case. Amon-Ra was one of the big names that got hurt this weekend. He, again, should be back next week. He's on a day-to-day basis right now, but you never really know. This is the time to pick up that bid. They might want to sit him out for 1 week just in case and make sure he's fully healthy. Jameson Williams will be the #1, but Khalif Raymond is going to be the #2 if that's the case. And to finish it off with the tight end position, Hunter Henry should not be on the waiver wire. Neither should Zach Ertz. These guys are playing a pivotal role in their offenses, and these offenses are not as bad as we thought they were going to be in the offseason. They are the 1A, if not 1B, for the respective quarterbacks and the respective offenses. And the tight end position right now is really just a crapshoot. Even when you have the top guys, you're probably not happy. So getting guaranteed production at the tight end position is important. And if you can get that off your waiver wire, even better. For the Bengals, Mike Gesicki is worth a pickup. He led the team in targets this past Sunday. He also had a touchdown call back in week 1. He's a pivotal portion of this offense. T. Higgins is still hurt. We're not sure how long he's going to be out. Jamar Chase is continuing to complain and have bad games. Mike Gesicki is probably not going to be #1 option on a week-to-week basis. But again, if he's a #2, even a #3 for Joe Burrow, he's going to have value. And he is someone they look to in the red zone. And last but not least, a very, very sneaky play at the tight end position. We saw Evan Ingram get called out with a hamstring issue right before the game, and that left a lot of people, strangling for players and struggling to put someone in their lineup. Brenton Strange, which is his backup, led the team in targets in week 2. So again, the tight end position is not something that's real pretty. It's an ugly ad, and it's not really something that you're going to be proud of and you're going to feel real good about. But again, at the tight end position, you want volume. And if Evan Ingram is going to be out for multiple weeks, even this week to begin with, you could do worse than Brenton Strange. Now, my stash of the week, obviously CMC went on the IR, and it's looking to miss 6 to 8 weeks. So I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know. Everyone grabbed Jordan Mason. He's not available. That's not my point. My point is, Jordan Mason is now the starting running back for the 49ers. So what do you want? You want his handcuff. A name you might not be familiar with, Isaac Renendo. He is going to be Jordan Mason's running back handcuff. And if Jordan Mason happens to go down, we've seen running backs turn out production in this offense. They're going to be a product of the offense. If Jordan Mason goes down, this is the guy you want. Stash him just in case. Thanks for following along. We'll see you next week.